All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Wahab Kodash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, it's your brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii. Real quick, I want to do a quick impromptu live show. I'm about to start headed out to camp, but before I go, I wanted to do this lesson because it was on my spirit to do it, and I had prepared it yesterday evening, but I just wanted to try to do it now. This will be a short lesson, more willing to be edifying, and it's entitled "Turko-Edomites." Proof Edom is still here. All right, and this is inspired by the video that you see in front of you. It's yesterday's live street teaching in Apostle Zahar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Gabar, and Elder Sakaran. They were going into this topic, and they expressed it. So I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna go right into the lesson.
The Herodian dynasty, which were Edomites. Well, the difference is that the Herodians came out of the land of Edom, and the Romans came out of the Caucasus. So go ahead.
Obadiah 1 and 3.
And see, we have yet to find Edomites come out and get Edom. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's right, because they're trying to hide who they are. These Edomites, they don't want you to know that they're Edomites. Even though the super elite, meaning the Rothschilds, particularly the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, they know that they're Edomites. They know that we're the Israelites. Okay, they know the whole grand scheme of this whole thing, that they're trying to, what they're doing is trying to regain the birthright, but they're not going to regain it because the birthright wasn't for them. Okay, the birthright wasn't for them. Real quick, this is Isaiah 29 and Isaiah 25 and 7, and it says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." And so all these nations, they have a veil spread over them. They don't know who they are. Some of the nations, they know that their people go back to the ancient biblical people. Like, for example, the Ethiopians, they know that they're Cush, but Ishmael, they know that they're the Arabs, they know that they're Ishmael. But for the most part, the majority of the world, they don't know who they are, man. So the Lord is destroying that veil that is spread over all nations, that covering cast, man, which are these different lies, man. And even Edom, the lesser Edomites, they don't know that they're Edomites. They think they're so-called white people, or they refer to themselves as Caucasian, but they're neither white, and they were only in the Caucasus Mountains for a certain period. But where were they before they came to the Caucasus Mountains? They were in Edom. They were neighbors of Judah, and they put a lot of hell on our nation, man. And then they create this term being white in the 1600s, the 17th century. They created this thing of white, but they weren't always called white, man. And their skin is not white either. It's translucent. You can see the blood in their skin, But the word Edom goes back to red, and that's who these people are. They're red people. They're not white. There's nothing pure about them. These papers on this wall right here, that's white. Okay, that would be considered white. These papers standing next on the wall next to the apostle, man. You don't got nobody on earth walking around looking like this, man. Even albino people don't look like this, man. Okay, but they through their deception, Revelation 20 and 8. Revelation 20 and 8, really start at 7. It says this: "And when 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison." And it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. This is talking about Esau, Edom, the adversary. All right. And what was his prison? Those Caucasus Mountains. Those mountains in Georgia, Russia, primarily. "And shall go out to deceive." And so after their 1,000-year prison sentence, which this is during the time of the so-called Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. This is when they were locked up, because the Middle Ages lasted roughly about 1,000-year period. And it says, "And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Okay, and so when they came out of obscurity, when they came out of prison, what did they do? They went about the earth, painting over all the dark images of the Israelites all throughout Europe, right? Then they came up with this Edomite picture of the one they even called Jesus, and said that he was the savior, and that God looks like him. God looks like the so-called white man. His son looks like the so-called white man. Okay, and they attributed everything great in the world and in society and in ancient and in antiquity to themselves, man. And they changed who they were. They went into different lands. They conquered these lands, and they took the names of these lands onto themselves. This is what the so-called white man does. And you Edomites are still here today.
History on Esau, man. You know?
Pastor Hall, I just looked up real quick. The term Turko-Edomite.
Go ahead.
This came up. This is from blasphemy.com. It says Edomites. The Edomites were in Israel when the Jews were in Israel. King Herod, which was not a Jew, was an Edomite. It says the Edomites were in Israel when the Jews were in Israel. King Herod, which was not a Jew,
was you, King Herod was not a Jew, he was an Edomite, yeah? So we don't consider the Edom, Esau. Go ahead.
They dwell amongst the Jews.
They dwelt amongst the Jews. What's up?
I don't think you can park there. It says no.
I want to keep his eyes open.
Okay.
You gotta keep his eyes open. Go ahead.
They dwell amongst the Jews, ate with the Jews, adopted their practices, culture, etc. Later,
Yeah, and that's what the devil does. Again, we just said what the so-called white man does when he conquers people. He moves around people. What he adopt their customs. He adopt their language. He adopt their history. But then what he do, he applies it to himself. Man. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You know, that's why you don't hear so-called white people walking down the street call themselves Edomites, man. But they'll call themselves the so-called Jew. They'll say, I'm a Jew. I'm God's people. I'm this, I'm that. I'm Australian. I'm this. I'm any other thing, but they will never call themselves Edom. And as much history that the so-called white man knows, as many movies that he's made about antiquity and about ancient history, you think that he ain't come across the word Edom? He's, you know, he think he didn't come across that through all this archaeology and digging in the earth. Come on, man.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. That's a video right there.
And this is why I'm doing the video, because it was inspired by the apostles bringing this information out. And as always, you look things up. So this is the website that the elder Sakaran was reading. This website is from TalmudBlasphemy.com, and it is funny, you know, but it says Edomites. Okay, it says the Edomites were in Israel when the Jews were in Israel. So who are the Jews? Who are the Jews? The Jews would be the so-called Negro, West Indian, and Haitian, because we were as a group, we were called that, you know, and it wasn't Jews, because the letter J is a fairly new letter. But the point of the matter is they were calling us these names as a group, in Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, or Yahweh, Benjamin, and Lewiah, man. They called us collectively, they called us the Jews, man. But the Edomites, they were there too. It says the Edomites were in Israel when the Jews were in Israel. King Herod, which was not a Jew, was an Edomite. And how we know King Herod was an Edomite and not a Jew? Let's see. Because there was a lot that Edomite lineage stretched forth to a lot of people, but this is Herod the Great, right? Herod the Great. All right. So it says Herod, or also known as Herod the Great or Herod the First, was a Roman client king in Judah, referred referred to as the Herodian kingdom. The history of his legacy has polarized opinion, as he is known for his colossal building projects throughout Judea and renovations of the Second Temple. Let me skip down. It says, it is generally accepted that Herod was born around 73 BCE in Idumea, Edom. Okay, and you see it right here on the. I'm not sure if y'all can see it. Can y'all see it? Yep. In Idumean, which it shows you right here, Kingdom of Edom. That's where Idumea is. So this devil was born in his homeland, Edom. However, some authors think that he was born about 72, 71. He was the second son of Antipater. Antipater the first, the Idumean, was the founder of the Herodian dynasty. So they were illegitimate from the onset, but they were set up to be client kings by the Roman Empire. Over who? Over the Judeans, man. And Antipater, he dealt with one of the daughters of the Maccabees, man. Okay, and he had children by her, and those children came out looking like Jakes, looking like Israelites, probably light-skinned Israelites, man. He was the second son of Antipater, the Idumean, which is the Edomite, a high-ranking official under the Entrarch Hyrcanus II, which that was John Hyrcanus II. He was a weak king, but his father was a strong king. In Cyprus, the Nabatean. It says Herod's father was a descendant. What Herod's father was by descent an Edomite, whose ancestors converted to Judaism. Okay, so they weren't even set up to be going back to all the Israelite kings. These people weren't even supposed to be kings, man, because they're not Israelites, they're Edomites. And just because you convert to something doesn't mean that you are that. And so what you have now in the land of Israel, you have what? A bunch of people whose forefathers, whose ancestors converted to Israel, converted to following the customs of the Israelites, man. Because Judaism is something solely separate than the customs and statutes, laws, statutes, commandments that are written in the Bible for us to follow, man. So it says Herod was raised as a Jew, and so that's money right there. Now you're going to tell me that the Edomites died with the Herodian dynasty? No, they didn't, because you always had Edomites scattered across the world, just like you got Israelites scattered across the world. Okay, and now these Edomites, they're ruling. Now these Edomites, they're ruling in this end time, man. This time that we're in. Real quick. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 9. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. And I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I can't. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So Esau will be ruling at the end of the world, man. And Jacob, which are the real Israelites, which are us, we're going to be ruling next, man. You see? So back to this website, it says, King Herod, which was not a Jew, was an Edomite. They dwelled amongst the Jews, ate with the Jews, adopted the practices. And now you can read about this in the book of Maccabees, man. And you can read it in the Josephus too, where the kings converted these Edomites until our nationality, man. Adopting our ways, not our nationality, until adopting our ways. They adopted their practices, culture, etc. Later, when Titus besieged Jerusalem, which Titus was an Edomite too, and killed the Israelites and sold the younger ones to the Ethiopians, Arabs, Egyptians, the Edomites who resided in Israel later proclaimed themselves to be the house of Israel, you see? and are now recognized as Israel today by the majority of the world. You see? You see? Who killed Abel, or who is killing Adam's children today, trying to gain the birthright they never had, which is the Edomites, through all wicked means, man. This is Psalms 64:1. It says, hear my voice, O power, and my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy. And our chief enemy is the tabernacle of Edom. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And that's what they do. You're not Israelites. And they control every damn thing now. So we're coming up saying we're the Israelites, and they're muting that button, man. Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. So all the people that were here in the ancient world, guess what? They're here again today. You know, all the sons of Shem, Ham, and Japheth are still here today. They're not gone. The Edomites are not gone. The Israelites are not gone. Okay? And Salakia, brothers, I know this is about the time that we usually tune into the camp videos. I'm just doing a quick sit down, and then I'm headed to camp. So I hope that you brothers also get on line 2 when we get the camp going. All right? I'm just doing this quick video. This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword, this is a future prophecy. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Which sword is that? The nuclear missiles. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment, man. So the Lord still got it up for you, Edomites, man. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. Whose blood? The children of Israel, man. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kings of rams. For the Lord, the Shai, has a sacrifice in Basra and great slaughter in the land of Idumea. You see? So, hey, man, hey, the Lord got a judgment for you, Edomites, man, and you can't escape it. This is second Esdras. Oh no, Salaki. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. And that bloody city is America, man. That's this place, the capital of Edom, man. Modern day Basra. All right. Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. This is how America was established. This is exactly how America was established, man. It was built on the blood of the Israelites and established by sin, upon sin, man. Okay. Proverbs 17:7. Proverbs 17:9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. And that's what you Edomites want to do in this time. You want to try to seek love. You want to try to hide your wickedness, man. But you can't hide your wickedness, man. It's seeping through. It's permeated all through this wicked kingdom, man. So I just wanted to do a quick video before I got up out of here, man. I'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim. Keep pushing, keep striving. We're almost out of here. Hey, shalom. And please tune in to the camp videos, which will be shortly. Hey, shalom.